Hello everyone, Luis here. In this time is to show you and talk about the Sonic Mini 8K. I posted already an unboxing of this printer, and I'm very excited to finally do a proper review about this printer, which is a very interesting printer launched by Phrozen. And it's the first 8K printer launched in the market, if I'm not wrong. At least in the mainstream market, it's the first 8K printer with 22 microns of resolution. So it's mind-blowing. It's an exciting time to be in this hobby nowadays, because when we started a few years back, we had like very few options in the market. We had like RGB printers with very low resolutions, and now we have these amazing printers out there, and including this one from Phrozen. Okay, so stay with me, and I'm going to talk about what I think it's nice, what I think it was not that good on this printer, and as always, I will be very honest here on my review. Okay, first I would like to talk about the construction quality or build quality of this printer, as I always do. And what can I say about this printer is that it is a very well built and well made printer. The cover is finally a quality plastic with a decent thickness. In the previous versions of Phrozen printers, the Sonic Mini 4K, for example, it felt cheap for me, at least the materials used. But in the case of the 8K here, the cover it's really nice. I really doubt that this thing will break easily or even let any light go through it. So it's a really good material used here in the cover. The printer itself, it's made of a good plastic. It's plastic, it's not metal, the base, but I don't feel anything bad about that, because it looks like a decent plastic here. It has a decent design too. One thing I like a lot is the USB port in the front of the printer instead of the back. So it's a nice change in addition for this Phrozen printer. Another thing is that they are now using dual linear rails instead of single linear rail. This is for me an advancement too, since it gives more stability to the printer. It makes, I think it reduces the chance to get errors and things like that, and that was a big issue in the previous version, the Sonic Mini 4K. So it was nice that Phrozen just addressed that, putting a very strong Z-axis here. It's a solid metal. I doubt someone can move this thing. Whatever you put here to print, it will print fine. Okay. Also, the materials improved, in my opinion. I see here the aluminum that they used for the bracer. It's better. The aluminum here on the base, it looks more polished for me. So in general, the construction is really nice. Okay. Another aspect is the build plate. I think we have here a huge improvement. Okay, it's not like a slightless improvement. It's really a huge improvement over the previous versions. This one looks really well thought design. You have here the handle for you to grab. I think this is a nice touch. Also, the build plate itself has these patterns here. I don't know if you can see. that helps with adhesion a lot, and it helps to the point that you need to work with lower bottom exposure times, because it's really it really sticks hard if you put like high exposures on the bottom layers, and it leads to very few fails. I can say I had 0 fails with this printer so far in terms of adhesion. Very nice improvement in the from Phrozen to make this build plate that way. Another thing is that I like is that the knob is fixed in the printer, not on the build plate like the previous version, the Sonic Mini 4K, which I really hated a lot, to have the knob, that big knob, fixed in the build plate. So I think this is also a very nice touch from Phrozen. Okay. Another aspect that I liked is the UI of the commands and the controls for you to use the printer. I will post here a video showing a little bit of the interface. I think it's a nice interface. It's easy to use. It's good to see that they put some thoughts on the usability of this software here that comes with the printer. It's easy to read, it's easy to use, the buttons have a decent size, so there are instructions on you how to use things, so really nice from Phrozen to work on that part too. One thing that it's minor for majority of people, but I personally like a lot, is that the UI here show the layer that it's printing at the moment. Another great work on Phrozen in doing this printer is the VAT. I think the VAT it's very good quality. You have the max mark here for you to not overflow your vat or your resin tank. They finally added something that I've been talking for a long time: the addition of the feeds here. It helps because you can just sit your vat on a table without worry about debris and things like that to get in the fab and damage it. So this is a really nice addition, and I hope they keep it in the other printers to come. Well done. Finally they listened to it. We had that in other printers already, but in the Phrozen printers, especially the Sonic Mini 4K, they did not have that. And it's a metal. They did not follow the trend that we are seeing in other brands, that they are changing to plastic. So I think metal is better. I prefer it. It feels more sturdy and safe to have a tank like that. So great work on that also from me. One aspect that really impressed me on this printer was the motor or the step motor that they use here for this printer. It's extremely quiet. I think it's one of the quietest motor that I've saw in printers nowadays, at least from the ones that I have. In this case, I think they just put some new generation motor or something like that, because it's really quiet. You do not hear that vroom that you hear in other printers, that it's really annoying depending on where you put your printer. In this case, it's really quiet. Jesus, I think it's the first time that I see a printer quiet like this one, at least comparing with others. Okay. Another thing that Phrozen changed in this printer is the type of light that they are using here. They just step out from the matrix that normally the printers used in the past. They are now using the mirror reflection thing that other manufacturers are using. I don't know if it's exactly the same that Creality has. Creality has is what they call integral light or something like that, which works very well for the printers like the Hello Sky, the Hello One and things like that. And here they are using the same approach. It's to have like a mirror that just reflects the light to the entire screen. And I don't have here a device to measure the light uniformity. If you want to check that, you can check the review of Dennys Wang. He used some device to measure that, but it looks a very uniform light. At least I did not have any problem with that, and it has a good strong light and with a good uniformity. I can say that it's a nice light source, which nowadays I think it's, in my opinion, it's more important in some cases than the resolution of the screen itself. And talking about the resolution of the screen, yes, another feature for this printer is the 8K resolution screen. I will put here the dimensions of the screen, and yes, it's an 8K screen, a small screen printer with 22 microns of resolution. This is insane if we think, again, as I said in the beginning, in the past, on the previous printers, this is really insane to have this type of screen in resolution in a Resin 3D printer. And that brings to the next thing that I would like to talk is the quality, okay? I printed a lot and I decided to keep the prints, apart from this boost here, I decided to just test like small scale models, okay? Because it's the case of this printer, right? It's not a printer to print like gigantic or bigger models. It's more address or more. The target here is people that like to print small models, jewelry, dentistry maybe, but I think jewelry works really fine for the case of this size of screen. And what I can say, it's amazing. I will post as I will always do, I will post the photos, the videos showing the models up close, but it's really amazing. And I printed, I will maybe later do a video comparing the 8K with a 4K. I think it's worth it to take a look on that. But I just will post here a picture of showing this in a microscope photo, showing the same model in a 4K printer and with 51 micron resolution, and with this printer. And in the naked eye, it's difficult to see, okay, the difference. But if you put on the microscope, it's easier for you to see the difference, because the surface quality of the 8K it's superior. It's noticeable that the surface quality is better. And another thing that you noted in difference from a 4K printer is the voxels, okay, the voxel effect. You need to work less on the anti-aliasing, or to rely less on the anti-aliasing on this printer compared with other printers if you want to reduce the voxel effect in the printers, okay? Because again, it's an insane resolution on the XY compared with other printers. So yeah, you are going to have less voxels, and if you turn on the anti-aliasing, then you have zero voxels in printers. So a great thing and achievement for people that really looks for amazing quality prints or models when they print things. So I can attest this is the best quality printer that I've had the chance to work with in terms of end results, okay? And also another thing is it's a very stable machine. It prints constantly. I had very few fails with it, to not say none, would say. I think the fails I had, again, was related maybe with supports and things like that. But in terms of print consistency, let's say, it works really fine. It's a very nice printer. And in many cases here I use the 8K resin from Frozen, but I also tested with Resin 1 resin, Resin resin here, and in all the cases it works really fine. Obviously differences between the cure times on each of these resins. The 8K resin is a very fast resin. I think my cure time in 0.03 millimeters, it's around 1.5 seconds, so it's a really fast resin, while with the others it's like 2.5, 2.8, but it prints fine with all the resins that I tried. Really nice resin printer, okay, so I really recommend it. on the bad part, let's say, things that I think need some improvement, what can I say? One thing that I dislike about this printer is the screen size. It's a really strange screen size or aspect ratio or whatever. It's a long and thin screen, so sometimes you need to struggle a little bit on how to position and put the models here in order to print fine. I prefer a more squared size type of screen, but it's not a huge deal, okay? So yeah, this is something that I didn't like that much, but it not prevent you to have a good printer anyway, so it's just a little bit annoying, for me at least. Another thing that I didn't like that much is the UV leak. Again, the same issue that they had in the Sonic Mini 4K. Like, there are lots of UV leak below the printer and the back of the printer. I think it's maybe less than the Sonic Mini 4K, but still there are a lot of UV leak, and I don't know why they do that, but... And I think the last thing that it's for me a little bit of contradictory is that the printer has one of the quietest motors or step motors that I saw in a printer, but on the other hand, the fans of the printer is very loud. They could, I don't know, work with that and have like a more quiet fan here. It's something that really bothers me, these loud machines and things like that. So, and it's bad because they have so quiet motors, but with a so loud fan. I don't know, maybe they could have invested a little bit in a more quiet fan, but again, it's not a super big deal, okay? So my final thoughts on the printer is that it's a very good printer. It really impressed me with the quality of the construction of the printer and also the results it delivers. It's a really good printer, and I've had not that great experiences with two Sonic Mini 4Ks that I had in the past, and this one just came to throw a shadow over these past experiences that I had with Frozen, and I really see that they are trying to listen for the customers, to listen for feedback from previous mistakes and things like that. So I have to congratulate Frozen for the amazing work they've put and they've done with this printer. It's not only a reliable printer with good quality, construction quality and print quality unequal. It's also a nice printer. I think it's beautiful print. It's a nice printer. I like the touch here of the 8K badge they put here in front of the printer. Yeah, they put a lot of effort on this printer for sure, and I really recommended it. It's a nice printer if you can get it for a good price. The problem is I think they are out of stock now, but if you find it to buy, just buy it and you will not regret, and you will have amazing results with this printer, okay? So thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye.